All right, we're going to do a test video here. And just so you know, my grooming garage is a one-car garage that I've converted to mostly grooming. And so it's a little bit warm out here. I have heat for the winter, but no AC. So I'm going to break this up into steps for Oscar. And if you can notice, he is pretty fuzzy. It's been a good solid month since he had his last trim. That was the last time he showed. He did get his Grand Champion Gold certificate in the mail on Friday. This is Saturday. And today, or on Thursday, and today he got his gold medal. So I will show you those at some other time. But I'm just going to do face and feet today to break this up into smaller sections. So I'll show you the points I use, and hopefully that'll help some of you who are like me, amateur groomers. I'm not a professional. I've learned to groom. My mother was a groomer who groomed 1 or 2 days a week at a vet clinic in a small town until it was too much on her back. And she did it as a midlife crisis, I guess you could say, to prove she could go back to school and do something, since she only had a high school degree. So she taught me and said, if you're going to have standard poodles, you need to learn how to groom them yourself. So here we go. Again, I'm not a professional. This is just how I do it. And I'm sure there's many better tips and tricks. So do what's best for you and your dog. I will always say that. But this is what I do. So bear with me here. The first thing I'm going to do is on his face. When I do the head, I go from this point to the ear, kind of up here, that top point. It's hard to see with all the hair. I'm sorry. The point of this ear to the point of his eye back here. And Oscar is not always the most willing to have his face shaven, so bear with me through this. A 30 blade. I got a 30 blade. And I'm just going to quickly take and kind of make that line, right? And just carefully go through the eye here. All right, the next place, again, he's had this done so many times he gets really tired of it, is from inside point of eye to inside point of eye. You don't want to come up too far this way because then it looks silly. You want to go point to point. So let's get that done. And this is where he gets a little willy-nilly. All right, sit, buddy. Sit down. Come on. Well, you might get a close-up here. And again, I am just propping stuff up in my garage. So here we go. So the next, Oscar, sit. I'm going to do that to the same on the other side. Point of ear, across to corner of eye. And just so you know, I'm not going to be as fussy as I would be if we were truly doing another show groom because he's done showing. He's retired. He's Grand Champion Gold. Hey, he's done it. He's done a great job. All right, so for the neck, a lot of people say find where that bump in the neck is and go right above it. I have to admit, sometimes I've shaved him down way too far and then had to let it grow back up. For me, it's kind of just by eye. And I kind of look where there's the kind of the flaps here or the folds in the skin, and kind of where they start coming together is usually where I try to aim. Now, sometimes it can be further down, so, and sometimes further up. Again, it's easier to do it more up, right? And again, he has a month of hair growth. And on the face, oh my goodness, 3 weeks to 4 weeks between is so much easier to shave than week to week to week in a show dog. So I'll just kind of smooth out this line here. And show out do this. Now, the trick, if he'll keep his nose down, is now going to be, Oscar, don't make me sit, to do around the mouth. And I admit, sometimes I have kind of gouged them. I try to be careful, but pull the skin back. And again, I'm right-handed, so this is my easier side to do this. Try to get that and do the same on this side. And this is where I need a pro groomer to tell me how to do the opposite hand side better. So let me clean up as much as I can. And honestly, most of the time, I will just put him on the floor and do the side that's more difficult, because then I can stand over him and do it. Or I have like my little arteros that I can use to kind of clean up. So sometimes that's easier because it's not as much vibration. And I think it just, they don't fight it as much. Stop. Okay, so we'll do that. I'll clean it up here in a little bit. You'll probably notice I don't do a whole lot of neck rests or, the choke color, just because, it's their job to stand on the table. And when they get uncomfortable, I want them to be able to jump off. That's not a great idea for everybody, but for my dogs, it's how we work. And since I only groom my dogs, I let them to have that flexibility. All right, I'm going to take a break and come back and show you how I do feet.